We're going to discuss the extent to which the study of cyberpsychology requires new psychological theories and methods concerning romantic relationships that develop online. In order to do this, we will refer to a scenario involving Sophie and Jake, who have matched on a dating website and started messaging each other. We will discuss whether traditional or new theories and methods are needed to explain the formation of online relationships, how individuals construct their identities online, and how these theories relate to catfishing and romance scams.
A well-known traditional theory of romantic relationship formation is Berger's uncertainty reduction theory. The theory argues that, early in a relationship, the main goal is to reduce uncertainty and increase predictability of others in an interaction. This is done by gaining information about the other person, and Berger argues that there are three basic ways of doing this. Firstly, through passive strategies, by observing the other person. Secondly, through active strategies, by asking others about the person. Or thirdly, through interactive strategies, by communicating directly with the person.
In online situations such as Sophie's and Jake's, the way they implement the strategies to reduce uncertainty may differ to those used in traditional relationships. As Sophie and Jake do not know each other in real life and have met online, neither of them can directly observe one another. However, they can still carry out the strategies outlined by the theory using different methods. For example, to observe Jake, Sophie might look at his dating profile and find out more information that way. Furthermore, as with face-to-face relationships, Sophie can directly interact and communicate with Jake by sending him a message. This demonstrates that although behaviours differ in online and offline settings, we still go through the same process to reduce uncertainty and increase predictability when forming romantic relationships. Thus, traditional theories still apply to romantic relationships online. However, they may need to be adapted to account for the different ways of interacting and observing in online settings.
Further, traditional theories applied to cyberpsychology may not adequately explain how fulfilling and intimate relationships can form online and through computer-mediated communication. Computer-mediated communication lacks non-verbal cues that are present in face-to-face interaction, such as facial expression, eye contact, spatial behavior, and paralinguistics. Existing theories that dealt with more traditional media, grouped as the cues filtered out model, argue that there is a one-to-one correspondence between communicative cues and communicative functions. That is, they assume that the functions served by non-verbal cues in face-to-face interaction go unmet in computer-mediated interaction because such cues are absent. Thus, computer-mediated communication must always be impersonal, meaning online relationships should not be fulfilling or intimate and will be more hostile than face-to-face relationships. Whilst early research supported this notion, more recent research has found that online communication can be as intimate as offline communication and is not hostile. It could be argued that new theories are thus needed to account for the formation of romantic relationships online, and such theories have been developed, known as the cues filtered in model.
This approach contends that individuals engage in strategic cognitive deliberation and communicative behaviour to compensate for media limitations and lack of information. For example, the social information processing theory suggests that people are not hindered by lack of cues available online, and rather online users adapt their efforts in order to present and acquire information using whatever cues a medium provides. So within computer-mediated communication, style of writing, spelling, response times and content of messages may be used to gain information about the other person. This means the indices of intimacy and trust may be different to offline relationships. For instance, if Sophie and Jake respond very quickly to each other and message each other a lot throughout the day, this may indicate that they are building intimacy and trust. This suggests that we may also need to look at online data differently to traditional data, and thus both new and adapted theories and new research methods may be needed to explain how relationships form online.
Sophie and Jake's quest to find a compatible romantic partner online has strong links to another area of psychological theory, identity construction. However, the online world provides an almost completely new landscape in which this will occur, meaning that there are questions over whether traditional psychological theories can be applied. One traditional theory of identity construction is Tajfeld's social identity theory. This theory states that our identity is constructed through the groups to which we belong, such as our social class, and that we feel a sense of belonging and identity with these groups. Further than this, we increase our self-image by promoting feelings of positivity about the groups to which we belong, and by spreading negativity about other groups, known as an outgroup. Research supports this theory, and Tajfeld's own research has shown that people view outgroups negatively, even when grouped on insignificant things such as preference on a painting. However, it is a reductionist theory and it doesn't take into account the interaction with situational factors. One theory which therefore accounts for this is Goffman's dramaturgical theory, which highlights how our identity changes from situation to situation and depending on the audience to which you're performing, in other words, the social context in which you find yourself. For example, one wouldn't want to be seen as a Manchester City fan in a Manchester United bar. We want to be viewed favourably to those around us, and indeed many elements of human interaction are dependent on time, place, and audience. Hence our identity is not only due to the groups with which we belong, as highlighted in the social identity theory, but it is also dynamic and stems from a desire to be liked by others, regardless of who those may be, as highlighted in dramaturgical theory.
So how well do these theories apply online? Online settings provide forms of mass communication and therefore, according to Goffman's dramaturgical theory, should focus on constructing an identity that is desirable to others. There is strong evidence to suggest that the identities constructed in non-anonymous online settings, such as dating websites and Facebook, are very socially desirable. Online settings provide an environment in which people have great control over the identity they present to others. For example, the pictures, interests, and personal information they display, making it very easy to construct a desirable or idealized identity. However, a key difference between online and traditional personal communication is that in online settings, communications are often a show rather than tell. That is to say that communication occurs in the form of pictures, posts, likes, etc., displayed passively to a large group rather than actively communicated to a single person. This will account for the fact that identities constructed online tend to be socially desirable. Online settings stress group and consumer identities rather than personally narrated ones, meaning that social identity is emphasized. Many online settings stress the importance of your interests and the groups you're a member of in your online identity. For example, you may like the Facebook page of the political party you are most affiliated with. One of the criteria that the dating site may use to match Sophie and Jake is their shared interests and groups, making these group identities extremely important for the formation of relationships. The social identity and de-individuation theory suggests that a lack of personal nonverbal cues online leads people to draw impressions based on social categories. So rather than call for entirely new theories, online environments have changed the backdrop against which identity is constructed. The removal of physical gating obstacles and vast control over presented information allows users to construct identities that are more idealized than ever before. Whilst the principles of identity construction remain, the processes are accentuated and amplified. Taking this a step further, online settings provide an environment in which people can construct entirely fake identities, which gives Sophie and Jake a whole new area of concern.
Specifically, fake online identities are the perfect platform for catfishers and romance scammers to deceive and exploit other online users, forming intimate relationships. Whilst romance scammers eventually intend to commit financial fraud, catfishers operate for a number of different reasons. Let's say that Sophie's profile is a fake one constructed by a catfisher, but why create a fake identity? Again, researchers have typically drawn from established social theories. For example, traditional theories of de-individuation state that individuals develop a strong sense of anonymity as part of a crowd, feeling free to act completely out of social boundaries. Fake profiles may simulate this sense of anonymity, allowing individuals to initiate a romantic relationship that they may not have been able to do face-to-face. However, it is evident that the deceiver behind Sophie's profile is acting as an individual, and therefore traditional group theories do not fully apply to the sense of anonymity gained. This important caveat has led to the development of a new psychological theory of online disinhibition. Specifically, online spaces ensure that the deceivers don't have to meet their victim in person. Thus, feelings of tension, guilt, and shame that they may feel can be avoided. Once the deceiver has decided to create a fake online profile, the theories behind it, the strategies employed to create this profile and begin a new romantic relationship, are essentially the same as those previously discussed in real online relationships. As such, recent cyberpsychology models, such as the persuasive techniques model, which describe how people like Jake might be deceived, are essentially compilations of traditional theories and strategies concerning the initiation of an online romantic relationship.
In conclusion, to a certain extent, the study of cyberpsychology does not require entirely new theories to explain the formation of romantic relationships, identity construction, and romance scams in online settings. However, due to the different backdrop against which these processes occur online, new research methods and extensions of traditional theories are needed to sufficiently explain the complexity of the online environment.